All right, YouTube, what's up? This is Merk here, also known as Greg. I'm going to be doing the Raw review for us tonight for the October 22nd show for 2012, of course. It's actually going to be me tonight. We, of course, have Des recording for us as well. Great media. If you guys ever want to check out his channel, it's going to be on our website for the Showstoppers on YouTube, of course. Subscribe, do whatever you need to do for that part. Just view our videos. Get the word out for us, and we are going to go ahead and continue to provide you with the best coverages for wrestling as far as WWE goes and TNA and who knows what comes after that. So what I want to go ahead and talk about tonight is we're going to go ahead and touch base on Raw, of course. The key factors of Raw that I want to go ahead and get on. Number one, the start of Raw with the tag team match between Rhodes Scholars and with Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio. I think that was a really, really, really solid match. It helped more with the establishment of the tag team division. You know, both teams put on great moves as far as the tag team part goes. Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio really shined a little bit more than what they already were on this one. You know, it's really good to have the tag team division back, and I think I like how they're utilizing this change and how they're using Daniel Bryan and Kane to help build it. They picked a really creative way to do it, but it's about what are they going to do to continue with it. So, you know, I'm curious to see how that goes. Great match once more by them to start off the show. The next thing I wanted to go ahead and talk about was I wanted to go ahead and speak on the AJ angle as far as her retiring, or well, not retiring, but as far as removing herself, resigning as the general manager. Now, I understand the direction in which they want to go with this story. What I don't get is why they would use Vicky Guerrero as the filler. I really don't think that Vicky Guerrero was the best option as far as getting a general manager, a manager, supervisor, whatever you want to say. Why do they continue to use her in any kind of leading role like that? Like she's ran her time for that. She did that for years. She did that on SmackDown for God knows how long. She did that on Raw for the little bit of time that she did. And you know, as far as given how they continue to give her that opportunity, you know, it doesn't add up to me. And I think there are other people who are better fit. I mean, all the marks, you know, and everybody who read the dirt sheets, I would have liked it if they would have held off for Ric Flair. That would have made a little bit more sense, would have been a lot more better. Or if they would have did something creative and made it to where Paul Heyman runs it. That's cool, too, in which they still can do something with Paul Heyman, which I'm all for. I just don't think Vicky should have been that fill-in for right now. I think they could have done a little bit better with that. So, you know, with that being said, I don't know. I mean, creative messes up on often occasions, so, I mean, what do you expect? So, aside from that, the next topic I want to go in and speak on, of course, is Ryback and Punk. That's going to be at Hell in a Cell. And the reason why I want to go in and speak on this next is because it has the most importance right now, and I want to just go ahead and get to the point right now, and we'll close it off with Sheamus and Show, of course, but the thing with Ryback is this is a guy who they had no choice but to throw in to the main event. They didn't have any other established stars to truly use as far as hype behind them. You know, they had guys like Ziggler, but he's already prepared for a follow-up story, you know, as far as with him being the Money in the Bank winner. They can't use him in situations like this. You know, they could have used Cody Rhodes or they could have used Damian Sandow. What would have that done for them for the tournament there? You know, there are plenty of options that they had, but given the time where Cena got injured and given the time that they had to fill the spot for the match, you know, it was really kind of like their backs was to the wall. So I'm not so much angry with them for their choice. What I am angry with, though, is Ryback's inconsistency in the ring. Now, he seems like, I know, don't get me wrong, you can look back at my other podcasts, the other YouTube shows that we've done. I myself personally like Ryback. I like him. I want to see him succeed. There's two missing factors here that the fans want to see. We want to see if you can work the mic, and we want to see if you can actually consistently wrestle good. Because from what I've seen from him, he's good one night, he's okay the next, he's crappy the other night, he's solid the next. You know, he varies as far as his style, and I don't know if that's given who he works with, but being one of the top guys in WWE, you have to be able to adapt to your environment. You have to be able to work with whatever is given to you. And if you're not able to do that, how do you expect to hold a championship or run the company, you know, whatever the case may be, as the face of the company, whatever they plan for Ryback. They have big plans for Ryback, and I'm honestly, truly scared for that, only because of the fact that that he's not exactly established. He's a quiet guy, and he just doesn't come off to me as one of the guys who's actually gonna get over until he has that little bit more of advancement in his character. But I mean, Batista started off the same way as well. Batista, of course, had a way better setup, given that he had to go ahead and Evolution, what have you, Triple H. He had a way better setup and a way better opportunity than what Ryback did. But nonetheless, though, an opportunity is an opportunity. So we're going to see what Ryback does with this one. And Hell in a Cell, they're so confused on what they want to do, because it's going to be one or the other. Either you're going to have CM Punk lose, who you pretty much built up as the main guy aside from John Cena of the WWE, or you're going to have Ryback, who's the potential future of WWE, lose, and they don't want either one of those. So how they plan on doing this is going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see what the verdict is, and I'm actually very excited to see this match on Sunday. So looking forward to that. The last thing that we're going to talk about here for tonight is going to be Sheamus and Big Show. Now, the Sheamus and Big Show, fans, you got to remember, you got to keep in mind, they're planning on using Randy Orton to go against Sheamus at WrestleMania. I know a lot of you have been wondering, why not use Orton? He's there. He's ready. Why not use him? Well, given that Orton wants to go heel, the best way to do this is let Orton go heel when the time is right. And the time will be right sometime around WrestleMania, which would set up perfectly for Sheamus versus Orton at WrestleMania. I have no doubt that's going to be a pretty good match. And given for WrestleMania, as a WrestleMania caliber match, I think it fit in just fine. The one thing in which I'm kind of iffy about is, Big Show. We've seen this side of Big Show where he's the dominant heel. He's this. He's powerful. He does this. He does that. He talks about this, brags about that, whatever the case may be. Big Show has given us this character for a long time. The character has proven to be effective in certain areas. I mean, Big Show's a guy where, like I was saying with what Ryback needs to do, Big Show can adapt to his matches. I mean, the guy can go from going against Vince McMahon, or going to working with Vince McMahon and going against DX in a Hell in a Cell. He's a really well-rounded guy, surprisingly, and him and Sheamus, I really think they're going to put on a good match at Hell in a Cell, and I'm curious to see how it goes, because given that, I don't know if a lot of you know this or not, but on Twitter, Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he went to Twitter and he made the statement about Sheamus, saying that, yeah, he's a good wrestler, he's a good character, but he's not at that level yet. And what Austin means by not at that level yet is he pretty much means that Sheamus isn't ready to be that guy yet. He's not ready to be a top face in the company. He's not ready to be anything as far as the top priority in the company until he goes that next level. So I'm curious to see where Sheamus is going to go after reading that. He didn't give any disrespect to Austin. He admired what he took. He took it as constructive criticism. And as to if Sheamus is going to run with it or not is what I'm curious to see. Wanting to see. And we're going to find that out within the time that comes, and Hell in a Cell is going to go in and determine that as well. As for that, our next show is going to be for Hell in a Cell, so go ahead and check back in the channel on Sunday. We will have the video up either Sunday night or Monday morning. So with that being said, YouTube, thank you for tuning in. This is the Merk here, and this is the Showstopper Show. Canceling out. Thank you.